Hello everyone. So in the last screencast, I covered installing VirtualBox on Windows 7. Like as promised in that screencast, this screencast is going to cover installing Fedora Linux using VirtualBox within Windows. So let's get started. So I've got my VirtualBox open. So I'm going to okay, before we can install Fedora, of course, you need to download the Fedora ISO image. So I'm here on the Fedora project website, which is fedoraproject.org. So the default Fedora desktop comes with, or rather the default Fedora Live City comes with the GNOME desktop, the GNOME 3 desktop. There are various other Fedora spins which allows you to install Fedora with the KDE desktop or the XFCE, LXDE, and there are other custom spins as well. So we're just going to go ahead and download the default, which is the Fedora with GNOME desktop. So this is so by the way, this is Fedora 18. So I'm just so if you click on this, so it's a direct link. It will start the download. So just click. I have downloaded already. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the virtual machine installation. So click on machine, new. I'm going to name it Fedora 18. As you see, as I type in the name here, it automatically detects. So that's pretty cool. Like it's Linux, so it's Fedora version. So it's a 64-bit image that I have downloaded. If you have downloaded a 32-bit, just choose that, which is the default one. So I'm just going to choose the Fedora 64-bit here. I click on next. So this is like the RAM that your virtual machine is going to have. So imagine that your virtual machine is a real machine, but it's virtual. So how much memory would you want to give? So the recommended is 768. I have a total of 3072 megabytes, roughly equal to 3 GB of RAM. So I would probably give, say, about 1 GB to Fedora. So depends on how much or rather what use you want to do with the virtual machine. So I think let's just start off with 1 GB, and if you think you need more, you can always change it later on. So I'm just going to go ahead with 1 GB. I click on next. So you have given the virtual RAM. Now you also need to give it a virtual hard disk. So create. So I don't have an existing virtual hard drive, which will be the case for you as well if you're installing VirtualBox for the first time. So just create a virtual hard drive now. I click on create. Various options, they mean different things. It is going to go ahead with the VDI image. Click on next. What kind of image do you want to allocate? So as you can see, there are two kinds of hard drives you can allocate. One is the dynamically allocated, one is the fixed size. So the dynamically allocated hard drive file is like, so for example, let's say you specify a virtual hard disk of size 10 GB. So a dynamically allocated file would be such that it doesn't occupy all the 10 GB space on your physical hard drive. But if it needs, it can take up, if you store more data, or if you install programs which takes more space, it will fill up incrementally. Whereas the fixed size, it's like at one shot the 10 GB is allocated from your physical hard drive. So that's the difference. So it's probably a good idea to just go ahead with dynamically allocated, since all the space is not allocated at once. So if you don't need that much of space, it won't be allocated on your physical hard drive. So click next. The name of the hard drive, so we'll just go ahead with Fedora 18. So this is where you can select how much space you want to allocate. So by default it gives you 8 GB. Let's just make it, say, depends on how much space you have. Let's say I'll just want to give it 20 GB. So that's how you can change it. Create. And okay, so your virtual machine has been created. But if you remember, to boot a physical machine, you need a way to you need to have a boot image, which is you need to have an operating system installed on your hard disk. Now we have created a virtual hard disk, but we don't have an operating system installed. So first we'll need to install the operating system. Okay, so what you're going to do is we're going to install Fedora on the virtual hard disk we created using the image that we have downloaded before. So to do that, we need to specify to the virtual machine that we need it to boot from the CD, just like you'd specify in your physical machine from your BIOS setup that you would want the CD-ROM to be the first boot device, for example. So let's see how we can do that. We go to settings, we go to system. So as you can see here, just like you have a boot order in your BIOS, you can see various options for the boot disks, like you have a floppy, you have a CD, DVD, ROM, you have a hard disk, and you have a network. So we'll just cancel floppy and we'll just keep the CD, DVD, ROM, and hard disk. So this part is done. Now we need to specify the ISO image. So we go to storage. So this is where we are going to attach the ISO image. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to keep this as it is, and then I'm going to go and choose the ISO file that I have downloaded. So choose a virtual CD DVD disk file. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to find my ISO image, which is under downloads, and this is the one I downloaded. So I'm just going to select it, and as you can see, it is automatically attached here, or rather it's available to be used. So I'm just going to click OK, and since my boot order was already taken care of, and so okay, so we have now everything to start our virtual machine. So I'm just going to click on start. Okay, so this is the Fedora 18 boot screen. Like, this is what you'd see usually if you are trying to install Fedora on a physical machine as well. So this is going to select start Fedora 18 and press enter. So as you can see, it's so this is Fedora booting for the first time. This is Fedora 18, as you can see. The desktop is loading. I think it can take some time. Okay, so it took some time, but it has finally given us the login screen. So this is the first screen you would see. So I'm just going to click on the live system user. So since this is a live CD, so it's a default user that is used to log you in. Okay, so the Fedora desktop is almost loaded. So here we have two options, which is to try Fedora and install to hard drive. So try Fedora is basically if you want to continue using Fedora from the live CD or the live image itself, but here we really want to install. So I'm just going to go ahead and select the install to hard drive option and click on it. Okay, so the installation is starting now. So on the first screen, we'll have to select the language. So the default is English. So That's what we're going to select here. So I'm just going to select the default and click on continue. The installation destination is the where do you want to install Fedora. So the time zone and the keyboard as well. So if you want to change, or rather, if you're in a different time zone, you could just change it here by clicking. So click on it, and so for example, I'm right now in Brisbane. So oh, that was cool, single shot. So I'm just going to click on done. So as you can see, the time zone has changed. So I also have to select the hard disk. I'm just click on it, and so remember that we created a hard disk of 21 GB space, and as you can see, it's listed here. I'm just going to select that and click on done, and I think that should do the trick. I don't think I should need to do anything else because I've selected automatic partitioning. Great. So as you can see, all the three options are now completed, like so whatever configuration needed. So I can just now click on begin installation, and the installation will start. Various steps will be displayed. So by default there is a root password set, so I'm just going to select a root password. So give a password of your choice, click on done. And it says root password is set. So okay, so it'll take a while for the installation to complete. You'll just have to wait. Okay, so it took some time, but finally you should see this complete message saying that it's now successfully installed on your system, ready for you to use. So we'll just quit, which will quit the installation, and also we're just going to reboot the system. That's the virtual system, that is. So I'm going to go ahead and select power off, restart. So when you did a restart, you'll probably notice that VirtualBox starts installing, gives you the Fedora installation screen again. That is the boot menu that we started off with. That's not what you want, and to prevent that and to understand why it happens, we'll continue in the next screencast. So see you then.